The 3 skills that built my life. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters from every corner of this world today, I want to take you on a journey, not just any journey, but a journey through my life, through my heart, and through the 3 skills that transformed everything I knew, everything I dreamed, and everything I became. These 3 skills did not just give me success, they gave me direction, they gave me purpose, they gave me strength when I felt weak, and clarity when I was lost. They gave me power when I had none, and belief when all I felt was doubt and darkness and failure. I want you to imagine a version of yourself standing in the middle of the road, unsure of where to go, confused by the noise of the world, scared of being judged, afraid of failing, unsure of what the future holds. I was there too. I was that person, that soul, that wanderer trying to make sense of who I was and who I could become. I did not grow up rich. I did not have many opportunities handed to me. I did not know any powerful people. I was not born into success. I was not born with any advantage that set me apart from others, but I had a hunger, I had a dream, and I had a burning desire to rise no matter what stood in my way. And on this long journey of trial and error, of falling and rising, of losing and learning, I discovered that there were 3 invisible forces, 3 timeless skills that changed everything for me. These 3 skills shaped my destiny, and they can shape yours too if you're willing to learn them, live them, and lead with them. These 3 skills are self-discipline, effective communication, and a problem-solving mindset. Let me speak from the depths of my soul and share what each one did for me and what it can do for you. First, the greatest one, the foundation of all growth and greatness, self-discipline. I was once the master of procrastination. I would say I would do something tomorrow, and that tomorrow would never come. I would plan, I would dream, I would write goals, and then forget them. I would hit snooze 10 times before dragging myself out of bed with no fire and no focus. But one day everything changed. I remember it clearly. I was sitting alone in silence, and I asked myself a question that shook my core. What if nothing changes? What if I stay the same? What if I waste another year? What if I never become the person I know I was meant to be? That question lit a spark inside me, and from that moment I decided I would become disciplined. I would become the kind of person who keeps promises to themselves, who does what needs to be done even when they do not feel like it. Discipline started small. It was not glamorous. It was not exciting. It was not easy, but it was powerful. I woke up early every day. I made my bed. I went for a run. I drank water. I wrote down my goals. I worked when others rested. I read when others watched. I showed up when no one was clapping. I fought for every inch of progress with consistency and commitment. And over time, I changed. I became more focused, more powerful, more confident. I learned that discipline is not about punishment. It is about freedom, because when you control yourself, you control your results. And when you control your results, you control your future. Without discipline, there is no achievement. Without discipline, there is no transformation. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams and potential dies with you. Now I want to take you to the second skill, the one that connects us with the world and opens the doors that talent and effort alone cannot open. It is the power of effective communication. For many years I was shy, I was silent, I kept everything inside. I had ideas, but no voice. I had passion, but no expression. I was afraid of being judged, of sounding foolish, of saying the wrong thing. But then I realized something powerful. If you cannot express your truth, the world will never know your value. If you cannot speak your dreams, the world will never help you build them. If you cannot connect with others, you will always feel disconnected from your purpose. So I made a promise to myself. I would learn how to communicate. I would learn how to speak with confidence, how to listen with presence, how to express with power, and how to lead with words that matter. I started by listening deeply to others, by watching how great speakers move people, by studying how the best communicators connected with hearts, not just minds. Then I practiced. I spoke in front of mirrors. I recorded myself. I read books out loud. I joined groups. I gave talks. I stumbled. I failed. I felt embarrassed, but I never stopped. And one day I stood in front of a crowd and something changed. I spoke, and they listened. I spoke, and they felt I spoke, and they believed, and I knew in that moment that communication had become my gift, my tool, and my bridge to the world. Through communication, I found my purpose. Through communication, I built relationships, I earned trust, won, gained leadership. I opened doors that would have remained locked if I had stayed silent. If you want to grow, if you want to lead, if you want to build, if you want to connect, then learn to communicate not with arrogance, but with authenticity, not with noise, but with clarity, not to impress, but to express. Now let me bring you to the third and final skill, the one that helped me face the storms of life, the one that kept me going when life threw problems at me like waves crashing against a small boat. It is the skill of a problem-solving mindset. Life is not fair. Life is not easy. Life does not care about your plans. It will test you, it will challenge you, it will throw curveballs that leave you confused, broken, and defeated unless you learn to respond with strength and not surrender. The problem-solving mindset is the ability to see a wall and build a door. It is the ability to see a storm and build a shelter. It is the ability to face a failure and build a lesson. Every great thing I built came after a problem. Every big step I took came after a breakdown. Every chapter of growth began with a challenge that looked impossible until I solved it one piece at a time. Instead of saying why me, I started asking what now. Instead of saying I cannot, I asked how can I. Instead of waiting for someone to fix it, I became the fixer, the builder, the solver. And slowly I became stronger, not because life got easier, but because my mindset became sharper, because I had trained myself to see every obstacle as an opportunity, every mistake as a message, every fall as a setup for the next rise. I aid you to adopt this mindset. Do not be a victim of your problems. Be the warrior who turns them into power. Be the creator who finds a way where others see no way. Be the thinker who finds solutions while others complain. So now you have heard the 3 skills that built my life. And now the question is, will you build yours with them too? Will you choose self-discipline over comfort? Will you choose communication over silence? Will you choose solutions over surrender? If you do, I promise you, your life will never be the same. You will walk taller, you will speak clearer, you will lead stronger, you will grow faster, and you will become the kind of person who looks in the mirror and smiles not because they are perfect, but because they are proud. So my brothers and sisters, rise with these 3 skills. Carry them with you every single day. Build your mornings with discipline. Build your conversations with communication. Build your battles with a mindset that never quits. And one day not far from now, you will stand on the top of your mountain and say with pride, I built this life, and these are the 3 skills that made it possible. And as I continue my journey, I realize something even deeper. These 3 skills are not just tools, they are a way of living, they are a lifestyle, they are a daily discipline, a daily practice, a daily mindset that continues to shape the person you become and the life you build. Let me speak more about self-discipline, because it was not just the first skill I learned. It is the one that fuels everything else. It is the root, the engine, the foundation, without which nothing strong can stand. Every morning I woke up with a war in my mind, a war between comfort and commitment, between laziness and purpose, between ease and effort. And every day I had to choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I can tell you this, the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. There were days when I wanted to quit, when the road felt too long, when I looked around and saw people enjoying their lives while I was grinding in silence, sacrificing time, energy, and comfort for a vision no one else could see. But I kept going because I knew that discipline is not something you do, it is something you become. When you become disciplined, you no longer need motivation, you no longer rely on feelings, you no longer wait for the perfect time. You simply do what needs to be done because you are a person who acts, not react, a person who builds, not breaks, a person who finishes, not just starts. Self-discipline taught me that your habits shape your destiny, that success is not a single event, but a series of daily choices that build on top of each other and eventually transform your entire life. I trained myself to say no to temporary pleasures so I could say yes to permanent growth. I trained myself to focus on one thing at a time, to give my full energy to the task at hand, to respect the hours I have been given each day and use them wisely, because time once wasted can never be recovered. And most of all, self-discipline gave me respect for myself. It gave me pride, it gave me power, it gave me peace, the kind of peace that comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your values, your goals, and your highest potential. Now let us return to effective communication, because I cannot stress enough how vital this skill has been in building not just my career, but my relationships, my leadership, and my entire influence in the world. I used to think that communication was just about words, but I learned it is about connection, it is about emotion, it is about energy. When you speak with truth, people feel it. When you speak with courage, people respect it. When you speak with compassion, people follow it. I practice not just public speaking, but private listening, because real communication starts with hearing, not just replying. I started to hear the word behind the words, the pain behind the anger, the hope behind the silence, and that changed how I interacted with people forever. I discovered that the better you communicate, the more opportunities you create, that every job I earned, every partnership I formed, every team I led, and every problem I solved was made possible by the way I used my words, my tone, my presence, and my clarity. And do not think that effective communication is only for speakers or leaders or salespeople. No, it is for everyone, for parents, for students, for workers, for dreamers, for anyone who wants to be understood, respected, valued, and remembered. The way you speak reflects the way you think, and the way you think reflects the way you live. So when you sharpen your communication, you sharpen your entire life. Speak with purpose, not just noise. Speak with belief, not just facts. Speak with vision, not just information. And your voice will move mountains even if it once trembled in fear. Now let us go deeper into the third skill, the one that is often ignored, until life forces you to use it, the skill of a problem-solving mindset. You see life as a puzzle, and it does not come with instructions. There will be pieces missing, there will be pieces that do not fit, there will be moments when you feel lost, confused, frustrated, and ready to give up. And in those moments, your ability to solve problems will define your future. Every business I built, every challenge I overcame, every dream I pursued came with obstacles that seemed impossible at first, but with the right mindset, I turned those blocks into steps, those failures into fuel, and those fears into fire. Problem solving is not about having all the answers. It is about asking the right questions. It is about staying calm when others panic. It is about finding options when others only see dead ends. It is about taking action even when you are unsure of the outcome. I train myself to think in solutions, not in problems, to stay curious, not critical, to look for patterns, not just pain, and to see every difficulty as a doorway to the next level of strength and wisdom. Whether it was a financial challenge, a relationship crisis, a health setback, or a business failure, I face each one with the same question: what can I learn from this? What can I do with this? How can I grow through this? And the more I practiced this mindset, the stronger it became, until I could face almost anything with courage and creativity, not because I was special, but because I had trained my mind to see possibilities instead of limitations. And now, my dear listener, I want you to pause and ask yourself these questions. Do I practice self-discipline every single day? Do I communicate with clarity, confidence, and connection? Do I approach problems with the belief that I can and will find a way? Because these 3 questions will guide your future, these 3 skills will shape your legacy, and these 3 choices will decide whether you stay stuck or rise strong. Do not wait for the perfect time to begin. The time is now. Do not wait for someone else to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Do not wait for life to get easier, become stronger. Every single day is a chance to grow in discipline and communication, and in problem solving. Every single day is a gift that you can use or waste, and what you do with your days will become your life. So rise with purpose, lead with courage, speak with fire, think with strength, act with discipline, and never forget that greatness is not given, it is built, and these 3 skills are your tools, your weapons, your wings. Let this be the beginning not just of a speech, but of a transformation, not just of a talk, but of a new chapter in your journey where you take ownership of your time, your voice, and your mind. Because if I could build my life with these 3 skills, so can you, and I promise you this: once you start, you will never go back. Let me tell you more about the real power of self-discipline, because it is the most important muscle you will ever build in your life, and once it becomes part of who you are, nothing, and no one can take it away from you. There were nights when I stayed up learning, when I was tired, when everyone else was sleeping. There were mornings when I woke up before the sun, not because someone told me to, but because I had made a promise to myself, a sacred, unbreakable promise, to never live a small life, to never settle for average, to never waste my potential. And I kept that promise through pain, through fear, through setbacks, and through silence. Self-discipline taught me to respect time, not just mine, but the time of others. It taught me to prepare for every meeting, every decision, every goal like it mattered more than anything, because it did. It taught me that showing up is not just about physical presence. It is about emotional and mental presence. It is about being there with your heart, your intention, and your purpose. I started setting goals not once a year, but every week. I stopped chasing perfection and started chasing progress. I began to understand that every small choice matters, that success is not about luck, it is about effort repeated day after day with love, with fire, with devotion. And then something amazing happened. I started to feel unstoppable, not because I never failed, but because failure no longer scared me, because when you are disciplined, failure becomes a lesson, not a life sentence. Now let me bring you even deeper into the power of communication, because this skill is not just about success, it is about service, it is about legacy, it is about using your words to inspire others, to heal others, to guide others, and to lift others out of darkness. I remember the first time I spoke to a group and saw tears in their eyes, not because I was great, but because I was real. I shared my pain, my struggles, my fears, and in that truth they saw themselves, they saw their own pain, and they felt seen and understood. And in that moment I realized that communication is not about impressing people, it is about connecting with them. Every great leader is a great communicator, not because they speak loud, but because they speak truth, not because they use big words, but because they use words that matter, not because they are perfect, but because they are present. When I started sharing my story, people started sharing theirs, and that is how communities are built, not on success, but on shared struggle and mutual growth. I started getting messages from people around the world who told me that one sentence, one story, one word changed their life. And I knew then that I had found my voice and that I would never let fear silence it again. So if you want to build your life, build your voice, build your courage, build your truth, do not hide who you are. Speak up, stand tall, share your heart, and watch how the world begins to shift around you. And now I want to take you even further into the heart of a problem-solving mindset, because this is where true greatness is born, not in comfort, but in chaos, not in peace, but in pressure, not in safety, but in storms. There were times in my life when everything fell apart, when nothing made sense, when plans failed, when people left, when hope felt like a distant memory. And in those moments I had 2 choices: break or build, and I chose to build. I taught myself that no matter how big the problem, there is always a path, even if it is hidden, even if it is hard, even if it hurts. I learned to stay calm, to slow down, to breathe, to think clearly, and to trust that every problem comes with a seed of power if you are willing to search for it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, I started asking, what can I do with this? Instead of crying over closed doors, I started building new ones. Instead of waiting for someone to save me, I became my own rescue mission. I face financial failure and learned how to budget, how to invest, how to earn in smarter ways. I faced rejection and learned how to build relationships that were real, not fake, not shallow, but strong and rooted in value. Every problem I solved made me stronger, smarter, and sharper. It gave me skills I never would have learned it in comfort. It gave me confidence that no book could teach. It gave me the quiet certainty that no matter what life throws at me, I will find a way, I will figure it out, I will rise again. And that is what I want for you, not a life without problems, but a life where no problem can break you. A life where you trust yourself so deeply that fear loses its grip, where you believe in yourself so fully that failure becomes fuel, where you honor yourself so consistently that greatness becomes your natural state. So what now? What do you do with everything I have shared? You take action, you wake up tomorrow, and you do the hard thing. You keep your word, you speak your truth, you solve your problems with courage and creativity. You stop waiting, you stop blaming, you stop wishing, and you start building, and you keep building, and you never stop. Because one day you will look back and smile, you will remember the nights you cried but kept going, the days you failed but kept rising, the moments you were afraid but acted anyway, and you will be proud not because life was easy but because you were strong enough to do it anyway. And now let me tell you something else, something very few people understand. These three skills are not separate, they are connected, they are a triangle of transformation, and when you grow one, the others grow too. When you become more disciplined, your communication becomes clearer because your mind is focused and sharp. When you become a better communicator, your problem solving becomes stronger because you understand how to ask better questions and share better ideas. When you become a better problem solver, your discipline increases because you stop wasting time on excuses and start acting on solutions. It is a cycle of growth, a loop of power, a circle of transformation. And once you step into it, everything changes. Your energy changes, your habits change, your results change, your relationships change, your life changes. And if there is one thing I want you to remember from everything I have said, it is this. You are not stuck, you are not broken, you are not too late, you are not too weak. You are powerful beyond measure, you are capable of change, and you have everything inside you right now to build the life you dream of. And it starts with these three skills: self-discipline, effective communication, and a problem-solving mindset. So decide today that you will master these skills, that you will practice them daily, that you will fail, and get back up again, that you will grow and lead and inspire and serve. Because this world needs more people like you, people who are strong and kind, people who are focused and fearless, people who are disciplined and compassionate, people who do not just talk but take action. You are the author of your life, you are the leader of your journey, you are the creator of your legacy. Start today and never stop, because the world is waiting for the best version of you.